Oh my god! Those are all BacT's villagers that he lost. I can see the orange pants here. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another expert game. This game is going to be between MBL and Tyrant Fruit, who's also known as BacT, which is one of the strongest, probably the strongest Vietnamese player to have ever played. Of course, he's on the Tyrant team, so go figure. Anyway, this is going to be a Spanish versus Celts matchup, so a classic AOC matchup. However, we are playing on the Wololo Kingdoms, as usual. And yeah, BacT joined Tyrant about 2 years ago. Extremely good Vietnamese player. He's played on the Vietnam team as well as the Tyrant team in many team game tournaments. And one thing I like from that I heard from T90, and I've seen myself, is that BacT always analyzes his games afterwards. He always spends a few minutes. So if you watch his stream, he'll always zoom around the map for a few minutes after each of his games to analyze it, which is something everyone should really do. So he thinks a lot about his games a lot. MBL, very aggressive player. We know he likes his towers, and he likes to lane. So MBL from the great country of Norway, just like Tyrant the Viper. Oh, great, Yosher. Always on at the same time, though, Sunday, so you don't have to wait for the YouTube upload. Anyway, these are our players, and it should shape up to be a good matchup. No spectator overlay for whatever reason. It's probably because I'm casting this on 5.6, so we'll make do without. Let's take a look at the civilizations first, and then we'll take a look at the map. So MBL's playing as the Spanish. Now, the Spanish have very limited options, however, depending on the map, they can be a very strong civilizations, and they're very versatile late game. So limited options early game leads to versatility late game. What are those options? Their options are either Scout Rush, Wall and Conquistadors, or Tower Rush. Those are the only three options they have available to them. So that really depends on the map. We see Ford to Wood early for MBL. And let's see if he can wall it. So he can wall here or here. He's got a forward berries, forward gold. And his other two golds on the right side, his other two stones on the right side. The stones are very inaccessible, so I don't expect to see a wall and a castle, unless he really wants to go like all out and just wall the entire thing. It would be very expensive. So more likely, I believe we might see a scout rush from him, or a tower rush if BacT's map is particularly vulnerable. So something more aggressive from the Spanish player, and that really doesn't play too much to their strengths. Ideally, you want to wall and go Conquistadors, because Conquistadors are probably the strongest Castle Age unit in the game. They can really turn around a game with some excellent rating if you are a little bit behind. BacT playing as the Celts. The Celts are a solid Arabian civilization because they have a good late game, and they also have a great economy with their lumberjacks chopping 15% faster. Their early game's not too bad either, with their militia moving 15% faster in the early game. So BacT's map, he's got a gold on the right. It's fairly safe. He could even wall it through here and wall through here. He's got two wolves here though, guarding this one relic. That's pretty amusing. Gold in the back. Overall better map from BacT. He does have his stone over in the south. Where is his second stone? His second stone's exposed as well. So stone is going to be a little bit harder if he wants to get a little bit, get some Woad Raiders out. However, I do like BacT's map. It's a little more closed, a little more confined, and he's got more resources in the back. Let's see how the players play it. A little bit unusual that BacT only has 3 on wood. He does get a wood bonus as the Celts though, so I can understand that. I always go 4 on wood even with Celts though. And one reason for the 4 on wood, get the barracks up nice and early. However, it looks like BacT's going to go with a men-at-arms build, as he's already putting the barracks up at 6:37 minutes. And we'll be able to click up right about now. No loom for him, so he's managed his economy fairly well. Going to send 2 more over to wood. Probably going to grab some gold, maybe put a mining camp there, click up, and create some men-at-arms. Men-at-arms. Now, what kind of damage can men-at-arms do for BacT? They could certainly do a lot of damage on these berries. MBL deciding to put a 5th villager on berries, which is 1 more than the usual. And he's going for a very food-heavy build. Let's check if MBL's up to the next age. MBL's getting ready to click, And he's going to drop a barracks right now. So maybe he's considering a men-at-arms defense or something like that. We'll have to see after he clicks up. Certainly a lot slower from MBL, though. Let's check the player's Fog of War, see how their scouting is. MBL's found all the critical resources and the barracks of BacT. So good scouting from MBL. And BacT's only now finding MBL. You certainly want to scout your opponent a lot sooner. That way you know what strategy to go for. BacT's just kind of playing a strategy based off his civilization and his map, but not necessarily his opponent's map. But here comes those militias. They are 15% faster, so they'll get across the map that much faster and make them that much more deadly. They can also chase down villagers easier. But the Celts' men-at-arms rush, I believe, is probably the strongest in the game for those reasons. BacT gonna add extra farm because men-at-arms is kind of an expensive upgrade for the early game, so 3 farms is recommended, and he'll probably drop down an archery range pretty soon. MBL gonna wall in his gold, so they shouldn't be that vulnerable to men-at-arms. However, BacT is just gonna go straight to the berries, and let's see what kind of damage he can do on the berries. Checking MBL's point of view, MBL has gone up way later, and he's going to try to defend with 3 militia, which he should be able to if he keeps his villagers there. Now, the men-at-arms upgrade is going to be completed any second. And this villager is going to get a little bit trapped, but she's going to get out of there. These militia cannot engage. Oh, nice blocking by BacT, going back and forth with the scout and getting a free villager pick that way. I didn't think he'd get it, just if the villager ran straight to the town center, but great micro from BacT. And now he's going to go to the woodline. Look at all the damage he's done. Idle villager here, idle villager here. These villagers were idle for a while. Killing a villager here. He's going to take the hill advantage and probably going to take out most of these militias just barely out of the town center range. More villagers idle for MBL. And taking a look at MBL's resources, he doesn't have enough to do anything. He's got 500 food, 100 gold, and 150 wood. You really can't do much with that. Can't go for a fast castle. You can't even drop down a military building. So just from this, you can see what kind of damage this this men-at-arms rush has done, with 2 men-at-arms still remaining. Back at BacT's base, he's actually decided to seed more farms, so he's elected for a faster castle age. And now he's going to drop down his archery range. And he's actually continuing to add in men-at-arms. He figures those 3 men-at-arms did some great damage. What happens if I add some more? And MBL, we talked about how he likes towers. He's going to go full defensive mode with this watchtower, it seems. Going to pick off another militia. Nice pick there. Going to pick off the scout as well, continuing to do so much damage. And here's those extra men-at-arms on the left, and even sneaking a villager on the left. BacT feels like he has complete map control. He can walk his villager around over on the side. And let's take a look at the woods for MBL. MBL has this wood on the front, very exposed. This wood is also somewhat exposed, so a tower on this wood over here would certainly do a lot of damage. And it looks like the scout should be able to get away. Also going to lose another men-at-arms. But 400 score lead already for BacT. Those men-at-arms doing incredible damage. MBL's at least 2 villagers down. Forced to make a spearman. Going into full towers. Whereas BacT's army is much more mobile. He's going to have a tower up on his wood line. And of course, BacT has much more farms, so he should be up to the next age sooner. Double archery range coming out for BacT. We'll even be able to pick off one of these spearmen, although it's not a worthwhile trade for BacT. How did this villager lose so much HP? Probably from the wolves, but must have been a little mismicro clicking him back. Either way, that tower should get up. And one of the best things MBL could have done to prevent this is either you could place palisades here, and it'll open up your Fog of War. Actually, you didn't even scout that area, so that wouldn't even work. You could have put an outpost here if you suspected it, or research Town Watch. And that would have helped prevent this tower from going up. So 400 score lead now for BacT. He's going to have to rebuild his lumber camp. That's another 100 wood. Plus all the idle time from these villagers is probably going to add up to about 100 wood. All for about a tower that cost 150 resources. Berries are now dried up, and looks like MBL is just going to go full tower mode and eventually transition to Conquistadors. This is not how you want to do Conquistadors, though. You want to get up to the castle age nice and fast, be nice and safe, and then drop your castle down. So you're able to do maximum damage. By allowing BacT to build up his archer count and go up to the castle age sooner, that's not how you want to use Conquistadors. They tend to be much less effective in that situation. And BacT's still pushing in. Looks like these towers aren't sufficient. You can never have enough towers. There's always going to be holes in the tower's range. And BacT's going to look to exploit it. For example, once crossbow's done, most of this, about half of this wood right here won't be accessible because the towers simply won't range. So let's take a look at the resources where players are on going to up to the next stage. MBL will be up in... Does he have any buildings? He does not have any buildings, so he'll be up in maybe about 3 or 4 minutes once he gets enough wood for those buildings. Need 2 to go up to the next age. And BacT has his buildings, just needs a little more food. He'll be up in about a minute or 2. I wouldn't be surprised if BacT was up a little bit sooner. He's got a ton of villagers on gold, actually. You only want 7 or 8 villagers with 2 archery ranges. This is 3, 6, 9, 12 villagers. He's going to have a surplus of gold, which is not going to be good. Maybe he left his rally point there. These villagers going to harass these farmers. Even going to get another villager kill. That's at least 3 to 4 villagers that BacT is up now. And not able to take from these farms. Great damage from BacT. This is how you play archers against... what? What? This is how you play archers against towers. You try to find the soft spot in the range of the towers. And now BacT could even build a tower here if he wants to take away 3 or 4 farms. And there we go. Another tower, going to take away another 4 farms. You say nice tower defense from Yellow. I say it's a little bit of a poor defense from Yellow. I don't like the tower defense so much. For example, these towers really don't gain anything. They're just here to defend against 4 simple archers. Imagine how many resources it is to build 3 towers here. And how many resources it is for BacT to build just 4 or 5 archers. Not to mention you can upgrade the crossbows later on in the game. You probably won't upgrade to guard tower. Without fletching, looks like this villager can't be hit. So, that's going to be even more of an annoyance. And players have clicked up already. BacT halfway up to the next age. And just about halfway for MBL, just a little bit slower. You're right, MBL could have made an archery range and maybe made a few skirmishers. Might have been a better option. However, MBL's thinking about Conquistadors. Let's see if these Conquistadors can turn around the game for him. I've seen games just completely go the other direction once the Conquistadors start to raid. He can kill, they can kill 10 villagers in about, 10 or 15 seconds, so... And that's exactly what MBL's going to need. Now, unfortunately, he's not going to have the map control to drop this castle wherever he wants. He's either going to have to take a really risky play and, which could potentially lose him the game, or he's going to have to drop the castle safely, which won't give him any more cover than his towers already do. And very sloppy move. Very sloppy from MBL not garrisoning his tower. These villagers will get kicked off of stone, and... we'll see if MBL's going to have enough stone for his castle once he gets up. Losing another villager already. And the archers are just going to walk right on in. MBL didn't expect to have to cover this area with the tower. Crossbow's upgraded for BacT now as well. Another villager going down. MBL's down at least 6 villagers now. This villager could potentially go down as well. Great archer micro from BacT, finding those soft spots. catching MBL with his pants down, and now he has to drop the castle in his own base just to protect from these crossbows. Meanwhile, BacT at home, he knows Conquistadors are coming, so he's going to place down his stone walls, add a monastery to collect some relics and defend from Conquistadors. The siege workshop, I don't know what that's for. But this is one of the best ways to protect against Conquistadors, is to fully wall. However, unknown, BacT does have a hole in the back. And I want to check if BacT has that surplus of gold or he moved some villagers off. He did move some villagers off and has a surplus of gold as well. Second town center coming up from BacT. We talked about how strong that Celt economy is, especially if they are unharassed the whole game. So getting up that second town center is no problem at all. So MBL, he really needs to come back here. He's going to get further and further behind as BacT has his second town center out. So here comes those Conquistadors. Now, great thing for BacT, crossbows are actually half decent against Conquistadors, as long as you have a good mass of them. So BacT should be fine for the time being. And taking a look at MBL's resources, tons of gold, tons of food coming in. Not that much wood though, he's only got this many amount of lumberjacks, so getting down a second town center might be a little bit difficult for him. And no upgrades on the Conquistadors yet. We know he doesn't have a blacksmith. The blacksmith would have been... Oh, he does have blacksmith. There we go. Wonder if he's going to upgrade the armor. Bloodline surely is going to be a long time coming, though, to get down that stable. So I wouldn't engage the Conquistadors with the archers. However, with fast-paced units that are like the Conquistador, you don't have to engage your opponent's army if you don't want to. So MBL is going to go over to his opponent's base, discover that it's fully walled though, and let's see if he's going to go for this monk. Going to get the monk at least. Let's see if he's going to take a huge mangonel shot in the process. No, but he's going to run to the archers. There we go. There's that big mangonel shot. Only 55 HP on these Conquistadors right now. Going to get one converted as well. Secret conversion. Where? Oh, the monk is hiding here. So that was an absolute failure. That was a huge failure for MBL. And it's not looking good for him in the game at all. 600... No, what is that? That's 700 points below now in the score. Not looking great at all. MBL could potentially try to pick off these mangonels, though, if he's paying attention. And there we go. Gonna pick off both of these mangonels. Oh! That's a huge letdown. That is a huge letdown. So only 2 Conquistadors remaining for MBL. Is creating more back at home. Trying to heal this one guy up. And he's going to go back to the well again, but he's got to know these monks are here. And indeed, they should get 2 conversions here. Oh, why did BacT? That was a risky play for BacT. BacT moved his monk to the side as if the Conquistadors were going to attack it, but MBL definitely saw that and was just going to attack the other monk. So instead of having at least 1 or 2 conversions, now it's 1 Conquistador that's just free roaming for MBL. 3 town centers now for BacT. Do we have a second town center out for MBL? Just going to build it right now. No, that's a castle, actually. So 3 town centers versus 2 castles. Nice move from BacT. Going to secure this wood with another tower. That'll be super annoying. Leaving MBL with only 1 wood line left to chop. And BacT's working on his castle now. BacT's got to be at least 20 villages up now at this point, and still gaining. However, it doesn't look like he's making crossbows anymore. He's really neglecting his army, his army count right now. And he's really focusing on getting as many farms up as possible, keeping his town centers running, and importantly, getting those castles up. So he's got enough stone for a castle. It's important, if you're not going to make army, to drop those castles quickly. Where would be a good place for BacT to drop his castle? He's got a hill over here. That wouldn't be too bad. This area wouldn't be too bad as well. And certainly this area as well. Maybe on top of this mini hill. Lock down that right side. Going to drop it very, very defensively in his own base. Certainly would like to see either of these positions as well. That's not bad either, though. And it looks like that 1 Conquistador from that got converted. Certainly doing quite a bit of damage, delaying this castle. You can see by the dead body over here. So far, MBL has done zip. He's done no damage with his Conquistadors. Probably about 25 villagers down right now. However, he does have double Conquistador protection and some decent upgrades on his conks. He does have +2 armor, bloodlines. No Castle Age unit aside from the monk is going to really be able to make a dent in these. And certainly Castle Age is not the strength of the Celts. What BacT wants to do, he wants to get up to the Imperial Age and maybe start massing Woad Raiders or Halberdiers. Gonna take this military engagement. Not gonna take out the monk though. Could see a big mangonel shot. Gonna split at the right time. No Conquistadors getting converted. And there's that big mangonel shot from MBL actually. And now it looks like BacT's in a little bit of trouble. Certainly these Conquistadors are not gonna go past this castle. So they're gonna have to encounter the stone walls of BacT. But since the mangonel is here, should get through the stone walls quite quickly. And this will be a disaster if MBL actually gets in here. All these farm villagers could die, these stone miners could die. Conquistadors can run around this castle and get over to the backside here, and this could be the raid that MBL needs. MBL not that far behind in score actually after taking all that army of BacT. Now only down 300 points in score. And going to get through that wall quite quickly. As you can see, Conquistadors do a lot of damage to buildings. They do a lot of damage to rams. They do a lot of damage in general with 16 damage on them. And back at MBL's base, still playing this one town center. So this is an all-in. He needs to do the damage. Needs to kill 10, 15, 20 villagers. And BacT needs to get up to the Imperial Age, which he's already clipped. Great move from BacT though, sacrificing these villagers to get the stone wall up and slow this push down even a little more. So once again, MBL gonna have to get through that wall. Gonna send some more Conquistadors over to the right side, but no army for BacT. Doesn't want to make crossbows because he can't upgrade them to Arbalest playing as the Celts. And no army at all for BacT, just focusing on getting those castles out. This could be an absolute disaster though. If I was BacT right now, I'd drop a market with 20 villagers, buy a bit of stone, and drop a castle right here immediately. And instead he's gonna go for the tower. The tower can get destroyed by the Conquistadors, I feel though. We'll see if he goes for that. This 1-3 HP mangonel doing work though. Might be able to take out this town center. However, BacT coming with his own mangonel might be able to catch this off guard. So Imperial Age gonna afford the very expensive Elite Woad Raider right away. Nice pickup from these Conquistadors. Great micro from MBL. And let's see. Oh my gosh, great gate from BacT. Gonna get about 250 HP on that gate, which will slow this push even more. Just by about 20 seconds there. Picking off the mangonel of BacT, that was critical to saving his town center. And now the Conquistadors are in. Certainly have been delayed for quite some time. Gonna kill another villager. I anticipate that, I believe that BacT is probably about 20 villagers up still. And MBL should just walk right in there and go under this town center, under this mill, under these farms here. I hope he does so. Elite Woad Raider is done. They're not too powerful against Conquistadors though. You'll need at least 15 or probably 20 to take out this number. Neither player paying attention, gonna take a mangonel shot. And see if these Conquistadors can get even more villagers. Gonna pick off 2 right there. Walk around the castle. And now BacT's the one who's forced to put up defensive towers in his own base. This is what happens when you don't make enough military. Might have been smarter for BacT to continue crossbow production, or maybe get out his castles a little bit sooner in better positions. Obviously, these positions really have been hurting BacT. Not having the map control to place a castle maybe in this area, or place the castle over here in this area. Nice mangonel shot though, another good mangonel shot. Gonna take out the mangonel, and now gonna kill even more villagers. MBL coming back in to score a little bit, not really though. BacT 1,000 points up. So he's done some great damage with these Conquistadors. Killed at least 15 villagers, but BacT's still going to be ahead. 3 town centers coming up for MBL now, though. So he's working on his economy, thinking about maybe the later game. Maybe he thinks he can contest with the damage he's doing with his Conquistadors. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to finish the game, though, so I do like the decision to add more town centers. Not going to hurt him at all in this push. Alright, taking a look at BacT's resources. Woad Raiders now with very good upgrades. It's very hard, though, to build enough Woad Raiders, though, when all your farms are being raided. I don't know what kind of access gold to gold BacT has, though. I don't see any golds. He's taking this gold here and this gold here, I remember. That's enough gold for him. The big problem is going to be food. More villagers dying on the wood line, 2 down right there. These farms completely idle. This could be another lost mangonel. And MBL should just continue to run around over on this backside. This is really one of the weaknesses of the Celts, though. Oh, castle over here. So 3 castles for him. One of the weaknesses of the Celts that you really need your economy to be going as you go up to Imperial Age, so you can transition into Woad Raiders. That transition is so hard without having Arbalest or a strong Nightline. So this is what BacT needs to do. He needs to take good small engagements, and he's certainly going to take a good one here. MBL not paying attention and losing a few of them. He's probably got these three groups of Conquistadors hotkeys, so he's got to go between these 3 and also manage his economy at home. Let's see if these Woad Raiders can do any damage. MBL now with the 2nd castle up in this north side. I love that castle positioning. And you gotta love when that Celtish soundtrack comes in, right as you're playing as the Celts. Another conversion for BacT. So he's slowly whittling down these numbers. Now more stone wall coming in from BacT. This can really save him. So now BacT should feel safe to take this wood here, take this gold, and seed up some more farms. Hopefully get his military numbers up. This is another good small engagement from BacT. MBL not paying attention, going to lose some even more Conquistadors. This becomes a problem when you have so many control groups, so many groups of army. Going to run into his own base and should garrison the town centers. I think that will be enough to clean up these Woad Raiders. Let's see. Looks like BacT not paying too much attention either. There's no way he'd want to run into this castle. And once again, cleaned up, the Woad Raiders are starting to get massed a little bit more. As we said, BacT is finally able to take his farms here. Safely. He's even seeded more farms in the back. So BacT's economy is getting rolling, and this is where the Celts become scary. Once they have a full food eco going, full wood eco going, have access to golds, and have 3 of their castles up. So the Celts are very scary at this point. We can even be seeing siege being added in pretty shortly. And MBL needs all of his Conquistadors to defend, but at the same time he still needs to be doing damage. And this is not how you do it, by losing all your Conquistadors. Oh, very aggressive castle from MBL. He'll be able to get through those walls and lock down these farms. However, he does need that castle for defense, so I don't know if I agree with this idea. MBL's in a tough situation because he needs to defend and attack at the same time to have a good chance at this game. So where's alternative castle positionings for MBL? Could be over here in this right side. Could be even here in the middle of the map. However, it would be vulnerable to trebuchets. And if BacT does want to get a trebuchet out, he's starting to get enough mass where he could threaten the castles of MBL. But regardless, he's chosen just to use this castle to get him through these walls. And I think that might not be the best decision. More sloppy micro from BacT. This game hasn't been without its lack of sloppy micro. Although it is excusable considering there's so many units, so many groups to control in the field. Trebuchet is going up though, and BacT's making a play for this castle. This castle is absolutely critical. It's on the hill, it's protecting these 2 town centers and all the farmers with them. and it's locking down the middle of the map. Let's see if MBL's going to go for a trebuchet sniper or he's going to attack the Road Raiders first. MBL needs to repair this castle. There's no villagers under these town centers anymore. They all died. So yeah, I definitely think this castle would have been better here. A lot of these villagers could have been left alive to repair that castle then. Looks like MBL will clean up the Road Raiders once again. No too many Conquistadors. And should just go for that. You need to get that trebuchet. Poor Micro from BacT not getting any conversions off. And now MBL can just walk on in and start to work on that, that trebuchet. Take a look at BacT's eco though. Looking a lot healthier than before. And MBL's eco is still not looking great. It's kind of like a two-town center. Considering he's lost so many villages, this town center is in a bad positioning. We talked about wood earlier in this game, and going back to the early game, this tower is still up. Both towers are still up, so MBL has been forced to build his base towards the middle of the map, which you can see has been a huge detriment to him, as he's lost so many villagers in this middle area, and has come under fire from trebuchets. So these two towers still doing damage up until this point. If MBL has nothing better to do these Conquistadors, he might just want to come over and take out these towers with them. MBL certainly needs to keep moving though, and keep attacking each of these woodlines and try to equalize these villager numbers. This is great town center from MBL though. Should be able to obtain quite a bit of wood over here. I think it should be a great priority for MBL though to take out these towers again. Oh my god! Those are all BacT's villagers that he lost. I can see the orange pants here. MBL going up. No, he's not going up. He's got, he needs quite a bit more gold. He's taking gold over here on the right side. So full castle age for him. He's got enough food though. I don't know if it's... Oh man. It's going to be hard, though. Conquistadors are not going to stand up well to Road Raiders and Halberdiers any longer. The Elite Conquistador doesn't gain you that much more attack power than the regular Conquistador. So what we need to see hand cannons come out. Or maybe champions of their own. Champions might be the best option here, especially since you can make long swordsmen right now. This is going to be an incredibly hard push to stop, especially if BacT mates Capram, though. Conquistador is not going to fare very well against this massive infantry from the Celts. So there we go. Long swordsman being upgraded for MBL. We'll see if he clicks up to the next age. This is a very food-heavy army that he's going to start constructing. Here we go. Capram being upgraded. This would be great, though, with a meat shield in front of the Conquistadors. And something to take out those rams. So with this trebuchet here, I think that MBL just needs to go full production. He spent all of his gold, not going up to the next age. And he's just going to focus on defending this castle for now. One thing he should do, though, take these relics, though. There's 2 relics that are that should be under his control. And we're getting to that stage of the game. MBL a little slow to get these barracks up. He certainly needs more than 3 barracks. Got 4 up now. He should be up to 6 or 7. And this fight would have been so much better if there were just a few more longswordsmen. Don't want the halberdiers and the Road Raiders on top of the Conquistadors. Losing way too many here. And this might be the push that ends the game for either player, I suppose, but this game that seals it for BacT. The Conquistadors still reigning here, gonna lose those. Might lose a few of these to halberdiers. And actually, MBL might have enough to defend here. Yeah, it looks like he will. That Celts infantry, though, so fast, able to get in under the Conquistadors. And now Siege Ram done. Siege Ram with 4 Celtica, 378 HP on each of these Siege Rams. And BacT has his army set. He's got all the upgrades he needs. I feel like he shouldn't have to transition to any other unit at this stage of the game. And with him not having to focus on upgrades anymore, he can just focus on full production. MBL's still stuck in the Castle Age. And it's looking worse and worse for MBL. So he's going to be going Long Swordsman, 9 attack, 2 armor, 60 HP, versus Woad Raiders, 80 HP. What is that? 17 attack, 3 armor. Outclassed in almost every way. Even the Halberdiers, 10 attack. Same attack as the Long Swordsman. And even 1 more armor for the Halberdiers. So BacT's playing the game the way he wants to. He can secure this gold over on the left side and secure a few relics and certainly wall this up. Those would be the last few things he has to do. But going straight through the middle. And this army should work. I feel like BacT just needs to mass it up just a little bit more and take 1 great engagement. So this might be the final defense from MBL. He's done some great raiding with the Conquistadors, but not enough. BacT doing enough damage in the early game to slow down the Conquistadors, getting some great walls up, and getting a decent boom going, eventually defending with Woad Raiders and Halbs. It was pretty dicey for him for a while, though. There's the GG finally, as this castle will go down and expose all of this farmland, and MBL's certainly not going to go up to the next age, not having enough resources for that. So excellent game. Almost saw the Conquistadors make a huge comeback with the amount of villagers they were able to pick off. And great game from BacT. I hope you enjoyed this game. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next Expert Game Cast.